Hello, I'm Damien Leist with Lake Charlevoix News in Parallel North, doing another sit-down with Scott Mackenzie. We're just going to talk about a few of the activities that are going on with Scott, and basically going to spin it into a little bit of what's up on the hit parade for the shelter. Scott, thanks for coming on.
Damien, great. Thanks for having me back on.
Awesome, man.
I enjoy these get-togethers, and Chris, I think everybody has a right to hear what I have to say.
I do too, so go for it.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things going. We are, first of all, we're up to our whiskers in cats and dogs right now at the shelter as we speak. We've had more cats and more dogs than in the 2.5, almost 3 years that I've been there. There's a plethora of challenges that we have, especially in the cat population. And so we're trying to find some creative ways to help alleviate the pressure and stress at the shelter, and at the same time address the issues that we have with cat colony and cat populations in our county.
Cat colonies. So we have a lot of cat colonies here in the Boyne area, or the Charlevoix County area, or
Yes, we do, as a matter of fact. And I know there was a lady in the shelter this morning coming asking for one of our live traps because she's got cats that are living near her home that are constantly coming up and messing around her house. And she's trying to find a solution and a way to address that. And one of the things, I guess we could start. Why don't we start with that?
Okay.
The Charlevoix Humane Society has created it's called a trap, spay, neuter, and release program.
Okay.
We've done that because, for one reason, we have no more room at the shelter for cats. We probably have 65 cats there right now as we speak, and being a no-kill to adoptable animal shelter, our challenge is we can't take in any more until we adopt some out.
Right. Now, is there like a capacity limit at the shelter, or is that just not even possible?
Well, it's not like a limit that you get in a hotel or a restaurant kind of thing. But it's a limit for us for the ability to be able to do the job.
Yeah, and I like that. So basically there's a limit to what you can do.
Yeah, well, yeah, there is a limit to what we can do, and not only to what we can do with the job, staff-wise and cleaning-wise, but also for the health and safety of the animals.
Okay. And you're at the max right now.
Pretty much, yeah.
How many cats you have?
Right now, I think we've got about 60 or 62 cats.
You got over 60 cats.
Yeah, and that being, we have some kitten litters that are there. We've got cats doubled up in cages. We have cats now in places where we never used to store and house cats.
So I mean, the shelter is almost, the facility is almost a whole entire shelter now. Like, you got cats that aren't even supposed to be in spots, is what you're saying? Like, they're in the office, they're over here, they're in the bathroom, they're in the cage?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, well, it's a challenge. And so what we've done in trying to address that issue, because the statistics show that 2 adult cats, a male and a female, can produce over 9 years with an average of what it was, 2.8 cats per litter.
Yeah, I think that's
because a female cat can have 3-4 litters a year, but at this rate we're looking at 3 litters a year at 2.8. Averages out, when you look at the pyramid, over 11 million cats.
And that's a very soft statistic.
Yeah, in 9 years. So the way to address this issue is by making sure that animals are spayed and neutered, especially cats, because cats can produce prolifically. Is that the right? That's a hard word.
With my grammar, go for it.
So what we're doing is we've created a program called Trap, Neuter, and Release, and what we're doing is we're trapping live cats, stray cats, feral cats, and getting them spayed and neutered, which is at the expense of the Charlevoix Area Humane Society, and it's quite expensive over time, and so it's really kind of draining our budget. So we're looking for other financial resources to help out with that issue.
What does that cost?
Well,
give me the whole process. You trapped it, you neutered it, you released it.
Well, the neuter is more affordable than a spay because there's less surgery involved.
Okay.
So it averages between $40 and $60 a cat. So spaying as many as we possibly can. Then what you do is you re-release it back to where the property it came from. And now what that does is that puts a sterile cat in a spot where a non-sterile cat would be. And then where a non-sterile cat would be reproducing, you've got a cat taking up that space. So it's blocking out the other animals that would be reproducing. And as you gradually repatriate these animals to these locations, then you've got a cat colony of spay and neutered animals that are not reproducing. And through natural attrition, those animals will die out.
But ultimately, they're released to die?
Well, no, to live and thrive their natural life, what they would normally be doing. But what we're doing with the animals that are, now these are kind of the wild cats, the ones
that, right, you've got what they call them, feral?
Yeah, these are the animals that would not be adoptable in a home. What we're doing at the shelter is we're taking the ones that are adoptable, or the young kittens, we're getting them socialized with our volunteers and our staff. We're spending quality time with them after they're spayed and neutered. We're not releasing those ones back into the environment. We're taking those ones and making them adoptable for families.
Okay.
So what we're doing, two birds with one stone.
So you're kind of giving them a little evaluation when they come in trapped. You're like, is this guy willing to take a pet? Is he I mean, whatever.
Absolutely. Every animal that comes through our shelter gets an evaluation. So whether it's an adoptable animal or not. So what we want to do now is spay and neuter as many animals as we possibly can to help address this overpopulation problem.
Okay. And how has it been working out?
Yeah, it is. We've addressed a couple colonies already. And just in the last 2 weeks, we've spayed and neutered probably 25 or 30 cats.
Can you give a location on a colony? Or is that closed information? Would you rather not?
Yeah, I'd rather not.
Okay,
I don't know what purpose that would really serve.
No, I was just curious. So are they rural? Are they city?
Well, no, they're both. Okay, there's a colony right now over by Springwater Beach that's been there year after year after year that has been constant burden on the shelter.
Now that's kind of a seasonal residential area, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that could be a reason why these guys hang and bang out there, is because they really don't have a whole lot of problem, because it's pretty woodsy rural.
Well, and a lot of times what happens, people with great intentions often exacerbate the problem. Because what we have people do is, these poor little kitties, they're out there, they go out and they feed them.
Literally killing them with kindness.
They're killing them with kindness, and they're feeding them, and then that only stabilizes their colony because they're getting regular sources of food, and they're not dissipating, they're not going to other places.
Feeling comfortable.
And then they're getting that comfort area, and then they're reproducing.
Yeah, that way, and you can't blame the critter for being a critter and living like that.
Going where the food is.
Yeah, I mean, that's as simple.
And
when you say it like that, it's almost like shame on those people.
Well, and you don't want to shame them because they're trying to do
I know, but I mean,
But it really comes to situations like this where we're sitting down and using your platform to educate people. Don't feed stray cats.
Yeah.
You just got to say it. People go, No, don't feed them.
Yeah. That was one of the things that I'm really a quick one here is Mrs. Butler used to do animal rescue. She tried it when she'd fix them up. They were broken down, and she'd bring them back to health and mend them. And she tried to make them as natural as possible, like by feeding them so they have to capture their own prey, and so they could be released back into the wild. So on a roundabout way, these pets are almost coming a little bit domesticated by being fed with the hand, and then these tourists, or quote unquote, the people who live here in the season, they close up their houses, and now the cats are there. So now they're forced to roam to look for more food.
But there are always cat lovers that will feed them.
And that goes back to somebody will take empathy and feed the cat.
Yeah.
So when they come in, you get them, you give them evaluation, they get themselves the surgery or the castration or whatever, the neutering, and then what do? They come back to the shelter?
They come back to the shelter, recover, and then we take them back and release them. So
And how long do you host a cat then? What is it, a couple weeks?
No, about a week.
About a week,
Yeah.
Okay. So you feed it and take care of it and man hour it,
and then pay for the spay or neuter, and then we release it. So one of our challenges is funding this project. So we have had folks that understand the need and understand what we're doing and get it, and then have been pitching in and helping out. So we've raised about $600 for this program already.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Which will cover about maybe a dozen cats.
If you want to get involved and help out your donation, you can always write that off in your taxes, quote unquote.
Darn right. Yeah.
So come on, hook him up. Yeah. So what's next, man?
Well,
how's the raffle going?
The Super Bowl Raffle we've sold enough tickets to give away the prize. So we're selling a raffle. We're doing a raffle right now. It's for $50. You get a chance in 1 in 1,000, which is pretty darn good odds. And we've only sold about 360 tickets, so the odds are really good.
Well, that's a great average.
$50 gets you the winning ticket. Gets round trip airfare for 2 to San Francisco. 4 nights lodging at the Hyatt or Marriott or something comparable to that, right downtown San Francisco. You get access to all the pregame festivities, ground transportation, and 2 tickets to the 2016 Super Bowl.
And if you need media, I'll fit in a duffel bag.
Yeah, there you go. So you can call the shelter at 582-6774 and order your ticket. You can do it right online and mail you the ticket, or you can mail in a check to the shelter, and we'll mail you your ticket stub right back. So
when is the date done?
the drawing date is December 4th at 4 o'clock.
Wow, so basically really arguably 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So
From
today,
recording,
right? Yeah, because I mean, really, it's from November's here.
Yeah.
Wow, man. So, well, that's at least good news. You hit the number, and you know, whoever wins has got a great chance now. I mean, that's got to make you feel good as a ticket holder.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're almost in.
Yeah, you got a pretty darn good odds of winning, and any ticket now that we sell will be profit to help the mission of the Charlevoix area. Humane
Right.
Society.
So now finally, so really the tickets are really beneficial for, you know, the overall cause, and now every ticket goes to the cause.
Yes.
So that's good news.
So buy a ticket.
Everybody who did that really cool. Yeah. Make it 3.
Yeah, make it a dozen.
Cool.
Right. So one of the things, I don't know. This is. I'd love to talk about a few more things. Or,
Yeah, go for it, man.
I don't want this to go on. I don't want to bore people to death.
Well, you know, if they're bored, they can always turn off their smartphone device. But seriously, tell me about what's going down for November. I know that it's a national, you know, adopt a senior pet. How many senior dogs or pets do you have at the shelter that are, you know, on the adoption block?
We've got some senior cats and a couple senior dogs. We just adopted Maya out. She was our patriarch. Or matriarch, I'm sorry, she was our matriarch at the shelter, and she just found her forever home, which was great news. But we've got a couple of dogs that are, you know, 10 years or older. That's kind of what we kind of consider senior dogs, or depending on the breed. It's really cool because often the senior dog is the hardest one for us to adopt. But when the adoption does happen, you know it's a really good thing. Because here's a dog that deserves love and affection in its later years, its sunset years, but it has so much to give and so much to share. And for one reason, everybody wants the cute little puppy, but these dogs, senior dogs, are really special, and the people that adopt them are very special people too. So, you know, come into the shelter, look at all of what we have to offer, but keep in the back of the mind that these senior dogs are so deserving, and they deserve your love, and they've got a lot of love to give. So.
Yeah. What's the oldest dog you have up there?
Oh, Maya was 13. Maya was 13. So Duke is there right now. Duke is a 10-year-old. And Duke.
What is Duke? What Duke?
Duke is a yellow lab, and Duke just came back Wednesday. He was one of our lucky graduates from the Alger prison training program. We have a program with the Eva Burrell shelter in the UP up in Manistee. Where we will send a dog that may have a few challenges in discipline or energy, and we will send it to a program. It's a 6-week training program where these dogs go in and they live with a prisoner at the Alger Correctional Facility.
Unbelievable.
And,
that's kind of cool.
It is really cool because these prisoners, they've all been trained. They have a skill now where they can actually do dog training, and they spend quality time. These dogs live with these prisoners in their cell 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They train, and they come back to us with some skills and trainings, which is really special.
There you have it, folks. If you need a pet trained, get a hold of a prisoner.
Because they got nothing better to do with their
know what
time.
they're doing. I love it. That's good. Oh, that's quality right there.
Yeah.
That's worth the airtime itself.
So that's a real program that we've got, a real cool program that we've got. Another cool thing we're doing at the Charlevoix area.
And you guys, that's why you're on the bubble. That's why that's why I got people say, "Can I come on the show?" I'm like, I don't know. You know, if it doesn't strike my interest, I'm not interested in it. But this is always fun stuff. So that dog basically hang bang went up to prison, went from one jail to another. Poor little guy, and he's ready to be. It's a him. What's his name?
That's Duke.
Duke, and he's ready for a home, and he passed his behavior.
Got his flying colors. Now the other challenge, you can have a dog that's really well trained, but if your human's not trained, it doesn't do you any good.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I want to spin it to now is, you know, the adopt a pet / the foster care program, and you know, the human factor.
Yeah.
You know, I have my own take on that. It's probably not best for live video on the human factor. So
Well,
what do you,
what's
in the PG words?
and the great philosopher Jim Morrison, people are strange.
Yes, they are peculiar colors. You know, it's funny, I've said this a million times, you know, you can get a bunch of pets together, not a problem. You get 5 or 6 people together, you got somebody going to somebody leaving an ambulance, you know, it's just amazing.
Well, we've got another new program, and it's our foster program, which is long overdue. A lot of times when we have pets with special needs or special challenges, a shelter is not, as good as we are, is not the best environment for these animals. Whether it's a senior dog or a hospice, a dog or a cat in need of hospice care that still has a lot to give, but sitting in a shelter is not the best environment for them.
No.
We're looking for families or individuals that have a background and understanding of animal care, and then also have the time and the patience and the desire to spend some quality time with these animals.
So you're almost kind of saying that it probably wouldn't be in the best interest of somebody who's never had a pet before to come in and do this, or?
Well, I'm not saying that.
You don't want to take anybody away, of course. Because
somebody that's never had a pet may turn out to be the best person for this.
Right.
Because they have the capacity, the skill, and the understanding and the compassion to be able to do this. But it's not for your typical family pet kind of setting, because there are often some challenges. Now, what we do is we pick up the expenses, the medical bills. We'll help out with food and some basic essentials. But we look for a safe, loving home environment for these animals to get the special need and special care. And it may not be an animal that is sick or dying or senior. It may be an animal that got hit by a car that needs a safe and compassionate place to recover and recoup from their medical injuries.
Right.
So there could be a number of other variables that are involved here, but we are looking for some special people that have the time. This wouldn't be somebody that's working a regular 40-hour week or
lay it out there.
And this wouldn't be for somebody that's maybe got small kids or a bunch of other animals that need a lot of attention. But somebody that has the compassion and the time to spend on these special creatures.
The most important thing is, and from my perspective, is a quality hangout, because nobody wants to go back to the cage.
Right.
And it's bad enough to be there, because I'm sure a lot of these pets are there for whatever reason, but that's not what they were.
They're no fault of their own.
Yeah, somebody had a job, or they moved, or just some scumbag owner. And I mean that. I don't care if it's not popular to say or not, because
You can't say scumbag?
I can say whatever I want technically, but but I mean, whatever the reason is that why people, drop off a pet. If you love the animal, I'm sure it's got to be painful to even do that. Sometimes circumstances make it happen, and that's where you come in, and and that's why we want to make sure when people do take the pet that they understand that it might be a little rough in the beginning. Yeah. But it doesn't mean you can't weather that storm.
And people adopt animals for a lot of different reasons, and I'll be perfectly honest. It's not a piece of cake to come into our shelter and adopt an animal. We do screen. We check references from your veterinarians if you're a previous pet owner. We check with landlords because we want it to be a successful venture. Releasing this animal into your home, we don't want it to come back, unless there's circumstances beyond your control.
Right.
But we want to make sure all the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. Everybody's in a position for successful adoption. So
it'd be in your back. So like if somebody comes in and says, "Hey, I'm willing to foster a pet for a few weeks," are they getting the pet?
That would depend on the pet and what we need.
Okay, good to know.
It could happen.
Because I know that, because I've dabbled in wanting to do that. But I don't really know. I mean, I'm back and forth. I'd probably be a foster failure.
Well, and those are not necessarily bad either.
No, I know that. And I don't know.
Foster failure means you took it as a foster and you end up adopting it permanently.
Yeah, because
not necessarily a bad thing.
I've had a pet my whole life, and kind of in between it right now, and I miss the pet. The sound of the floor, all the little things that go with it.
Yeah.
And but I just don't know if I want to be. I don't know if I were to dabble back into that world, if I want to be. Because I do have to admit, I like not having my anchor. You know, and that's one thing that
They can be a ball and chain.
as a pet owner, you know, you come home, you let the pet out, it's on your mind. You know, you got like 8-hour rhythm or whatever, however long it is to go to the bathroom, or at the end of the day, you always touching base.
Yeah.
And then you get into the routine of not.
And an animal needs consistency.
Yeah, and that's kind of.
And that's one of the things we're looking for is consistency and a routine for these animals that are in a recovery basis. That's got to be there. So.
And so give me a little bit about the promotional side of the fostering. You know, let's say you know, Pat's here hanging out with me. I answered the phone one day. It's you on the other end of the phone. You found it at home.
Oh yeah, well there you go. That's the one variable when it comes to fostering is we are constantly still looking for a permanent setting and a permanent forever home for that animal. So if while you're fostering and we find the perfect match, we will adopt it out. So you got to be prepared for that in the case that happens, because that's the ultimate objective.
Yeah, well, there you have it. That's from Scott, and we'll probably have Scott back on the program to really nail down the real expectations and all of that. And these are real expectations, but more of a condensed adoptive fostering of the animals up there, you know, and a little more condensed video. Is there anything else you want to run down while you're here? Anything new? I mean, anything fall, Santa Parade, Christmas, blah blah, anything like that?
We're going to be doing a holiday open house in December. I think it's the 14th. But check our Facebook page at Charlevoix Humane Society or our website at charlevoixhumane.org and confirm that date. I don't want to give you the wrong one. Yeah. But we have Santa that comes in. There's food and treats for the dogs and for the people. And have your family photo taken with the pet and Santa. It's a lot of fun.
Cool. Now, I mean, I'm getting way ahead of the cart here, but another one of them doggone.
Oh, the Doggone Fun Dog Show. Yeah, that'll be. I think we did it in February, didn't we?
Just drop a nugget on that.
Yeah, that's a blast.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a mock Westminster show.
Well, we definitely mocking it up, man. That's cool.
The least obedient pet, the one that looks most like its owner.
That was a lot of fun, man.
A little parade of paws around and agility demonstrations. A lot of fun, and every type of dog is welcome as long as it gets along with other dogs.
Yeah. Well, is that it, man? Is anything?
I'm good. We can go on all day.
We can, and we won't. We'll save the pain on that. Thank you for tuning in. Parallel North, Damien Leist, Scott Mackenzie.
Great. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it,
man.
Salute.